Hello, hello, all. Thank you for joining us again on the Almost Brothers podcast. Hey, will you do us a favor? If this podcast has meant something to you and encouraged you, will you consider becoming a monthly supporter? You could do $3, $5, $8, or $10 a month. What this does is this helps financially support the podcast so that we can continue to put out content and help better serve you. So if you would, down in the show notes, you can click the link, support, and become a monthly member. We love you. New episode coming your way.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Almost Brothers podcast. Thank you for joining us again today, taking a little time out of your day to hang out with us. This is Michael here again with Jeremiah. Jeremiah, how's it going?
Very good. How are you?
Oh, not bad. You look so dapper.
Man, I feel good. It's nasty and raining outside, but we're in here and it's lovely in this studio.
Back together again. But yeah, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about dreams and how to keep on dreaming. Coming up. And I miss Missy's crazy dancing when that
right. Yeah.
That's so
She
funny.
gave us such a hard time about that, but then every time she hears it, she's dancing.
That's right. Smiling and dancing. She knows she loves it. Come on now.
Yeah. How can you not?
Right. Just get you happy. Even on this weather gets me happy. Like,
I know.
I'm weird and crazy. Richard always yells at me like, whatever, you're weird.
You need to be in Seattle or something where it rains all the time.
So I told, what me and Jamie were talking about, it's in Alaska, crap. Sitka. We're talking about like, man, we should go retire in Sitka. Nice.
This is rain all the time.
Yeah. Dreary weather and snow and
dark.
Yes. Oh, sounds awesome. Fairy tales can come true. But yeah, I don't know if she's down for that.
Yeah. It's a long drive.
Yeah, it is. I could teach you up there.
Yeah.
Never know.
Never know.
Never know where God's going to take us. Oh, but yeah, man. I know this topic started with you, man. You dropped some heat last night when we were talking, and man, I just got so excited. And I know you were excited about it, so we decided that this is going to be our topic today, man. I think it's an on time word, man. You know, I think a lot of people give up on their dreams. You know, they think it's just it was just in my head. It's nothing, but and sometimes God lays a dream on you for a reason and for a purpose, man.
Right. Absolutely. I get to work with a lot of people in recovery now. I'm down at New Beginnings where Sister Tina works, and I'm working with recovering addicts every day. That's exactly what God called me to do, years ago. And now I'm finally getting an opportunity to step into that, and it's been wonderful. But the other night I had a dream. We were getting ready to head back to our hometown, and I don't know if there was just some anxiety with that or what it was. It may have just been the fact that we had talked about it in groups, and, we would kind of talk about, using and drinking and things like that. So It may have been on my mind, but anyway, I had a dream that I got really drunk and just made a fool of myself. And, in my dream, I remember like waking up in my dream and I was so disappointed, and I was mad at myself, and I was telling my wife, I can't believe it. I had all this time, and now I got to start over. And I was just like crying in my dream. I felt horrible. And I actually woke up, and it took me a minute to kind of realize, that didn't really happen. Thank you, God.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so as I was discussing that with her, God kind of just, dropped it to me that, that he allows, those dreams at times so that someone could experience the feeling without having to experience the failure. And I was just like, whoa, that's good.
Straight heat.
That's so good.
Man.
Because I'd never heard anybody put it that way.
Yeah.
We talk about it a lot in recovery because that's a real common thing. People have, dreams where they're using.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't want to use. And that was the case with me. Like, I don't want to drink. I'm not fantasizing about it. It's
Right.
not something that it's my desire to do. So why did I have that dream? And then when I, kind of got that revelation, I thought, well, that's really good.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Do you find yourself, I always wondered that. Do you find yourself, not so much wanting to do it, but kind of struggling, talking to someone who's going through what you went through, kind of struggling with that guilt of I used to be that. And then do you kind of get, when you get home or get alone, like feel like, man, that guilt set in, even though you haven't done anything, but you're just like, oh my gosh, God, why did I always wonder if that like gets to you.
Something that got to me the other day, a person brought up in class that they felt really guilty for all the people that they'd led astray.
Yeah.
So that really got my mind thinking. And I was very influential in either a positive way or a negative way. And I led a lot of people down the wrong road throughout my life. I was definitely not a good role model. And so I just got to thinking about that, with her saying it in class, then it made me start thinking about all the people that I had influenced in a negative way and kind of where their lives are now. Some of them are still in addiction and some of them aren't even alive anymore.
Right.
And then I look at me, by the grace of God, I escaped that and I'm out of it. But yeah, that's something that every once in a while creeps up.
Right.
Because I just think about the friends that I had when I was younger and the things that I did and how I would influence them in the wrong direction. And I know that here, and then you got to take it back to everybody has their own free will. Yeah. Everybody makes their own choices and you got to remove that because the enemy is the one that's heaping that condemnation on
right.
you. But it still comes around.
Right.
It's still part of it,
Oh, that's good too. Cause that same thing that I struggle with when I do think back on that, I know that God brought me through that for a reason and allowed me to go down that path, to teach me. But man, that is exactly what I think about is all the friends and people that still, they may not know where I'm at today, but they that's what they see when they think about me, that's what they think about is the partying and the wild, crazy person. And man, you just begin to wonder, like, God, I wasted so much time when I could have been just running after you, like what I could have accomplished in that time. And I think we get fixated on that, and we begin to feel bad and to feel guilty about stuff that God's already forgiven us.
Yes,
it's like, man, He says that's as far as the east is from the west, man. That's gone. It's thrown out.
Right.
But yeah, it's tough. It's tough to think about that stuff. I always wondered that if that kind of gets to you and makes you think about that.
And another thing that comes up a little bit that I battle is romanticizing those feelings.
Yeah.
You get to talking about things, so then your mind starts thinking back to how the times you had, because I'm not going to sit here and say that every time was a bad time. Right. Because there was a reason that a person stays in addiction and doing those things, because it is fun for a season. And there are some, I'm going to do the air quotes or whatever, good times involved in that, but they are heavily outweighed by the negative things and the destruction that those things caused in my life and with my children and with my family. And so, yeah, it's difficult. Sometimes you get to talking, and especially down in groups that I lead, that people get to talking about these times that they had. And it's like, you kind of start thinking, well, man, there were some good times in there, but then it's just like, nope, let's put the brakes on that.
Right. Yeah.
It's not a good time.
Right.
It's definitely not worth it. So that's just another thing that kind of comes along with it. You hear people, because some people aren't there yet. Some people just still think it's a good time.
Right. Yeah.
And so you're sitting there trying to convince them that there's more to life and there's a better part, God has more for them, and they're not ready to receive it.
Man, so much more fulfillment for you. Just like
if you could see, if you could just see the other side of this and see what God can do with your life if you submit to Him and serve God, that He can use you in a great way. And some people just don't want that.
Yeah, and
that gets a little discouraging. But man, I just cover them in prayer. Just try to be a good example to them and talk them through some things, and hopefully something will stick. Maybe 5 years, 10 years down the road, they may end up in prison and then think about some things that we talked about.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the seeds are being planted, and I just have to believe that God's word never returns void.
Yeah.
And so just do our part to speak it.
That's right. Yeah. To throw it out there, man. He said, throw it out, It may not find that fertile ground, but man, you got to throw it out. God's word says 25% of it is going to find that fertile ground.
Yep.
So, my next question is, I know what you're doing now has been something that you've dreamed about for a long time. So what does it feel like kind of seeing that you know, you're still in school, but you're, you know, on your way to being finished. And how do you feel seeing that dream and that light at the end of that tunnel and realizing your dream of what you're doing now? You know, what you're a part of now is changing lives, changing these addicts' lives, you know, that you are throwing that seed out. Like how does that feel? Cause I know like in the muck and the darkness that you think it's so far away, and it's like, no, that's impossible. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that. So how's that feel to know that you're like literally there? Yeah.
Well, I'm not there, but I, like you said, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I can see things unfolding. I don't even know why I decided to go back to college. I just felt like the Lord told me to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's like, I mean, it's weird to say, but it's like these just random emails would show up, you know, and they would just like spark something in me like, man, you should go back to school. And I'm like, why would I go back to school? I mean, I've been out of school for 20 years and what am I going to go to school for? And I was like, okay, maybe if I just look at online stuff. And then one of the things on there was psychology. And I was like, that's kind of what I wanted to do in the first place.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of one thing led to another, and they were all God things. They were things that God was putting in order, unbeknownst to me. I had no idea, you know. And now to see it to where I'm sitting there, and I have some counselees that I deal with, and things have rapidly progressed for me. I mean, it's just been one thing after another, just falling into place. And you know, now I'm set up to where within a year or two, I mean, I'm going to have, you know, accreditation and all these different things. And it's just, the timeline couldn't have been any more perfect.
Right.
But a year ago, there was nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, just a few months ago, there was nothing. And so it's been amazing. It's been totally a God thing. And I'm just trying to take it one step at a time and walk by faith and not by what I see.
Right.
Because I could not see it. I still don't see how it all even came together.
Yeah.
But I'm here, I'm in it, and I'm thankful.
Yeah. And that's why I always tell the youth, you know, that's the opposite of faith is sight, man. Mm-hmm. You know, God, I don't see it. I don't see it happen. I don't see it happen. That's the point. That's why you have to have faith. God tells you it's going to happen. You do your part. He's going to do his part.
Absolutely.
You know, he's going to give you that dream because he wants you to chase after it. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, we dream while we're asleep, but we remember it when we're awake, you know, and to be able to do something about it, you have to get up and go do it. You know, he's going to give you a dream while you're still.
Right.
Now you just got to get up and go do something about it, you know? So, man, I love seeing people's dreams that are just so out there and like crazy. It's like, yeah, man, go, sure. That's definitely going to happen. And then seeing it happen is just like, man, that is God right there.
Right. And we have leaders here, you know, with Pastor Tim, who is a big visionary.
Yeah.
You know, he has big dreams and big vision, and it's really cool to walk alongside of that because you can't, like, I wouldn't have come up with that, you know, and you think, man, how can you even get all that done? Or, you know, like, I don't understand how that's all going to come together, but then it does, you know, because he hears from the Lord and he knows God's voice. And so when he decides to put that vision forth for the people, and then people rally behind it, then the provision comes and you know, the resources show up, and man, it's really cool to see it because, you know, in the natural, it doesn't look possible.
Right.
And
then
you see it happen.
And you could dream it, have the idea of it, and then just be like, okay, that's all it was, and just leave it right there. And then nothing becomes of it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's actually believing that it's going to happen and putting it into effect. Like, okay, this is what we're going after. God gave me a dream. Time to run after it. Right. That's when you see people like fulfill that. And it's like, whoa, man, that's crazy. Yes. Like, just, I mean, you know, these people that have just stepped out, you know, I think of was it Francis Chan, who left his ministry of thousands of people in his congregation to go overseas. And he's like, just God led me to do this. It's like, that is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, just God put it into my spirit and gave me a dream of look, leave that and go and do this. Mm-hmm. And, you know, people from the outside, I think it's crazy and there's no way, you're out of your mind. But to see it work and to see God work in that is just like, oh, wow. And it builds everybody else's faith around you. Mm-hmm. You know, that dream spreads to others, and it's just cool to be a part of and cool to be around somebody that dares to dream.
Right.
You know, dare to dream big.
We do. We have some meetings on Monday, and my wife, you know, the other day, I didn't even know she was doing all this, but she's like, I got an idea for a live nativity, and I got this idea for this big, massive food truck rally. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying all this, but she's like, I got all these ideas.
World premiere.
So my wife is a visionary.
Yeah.
She has big vision, and her mind's constantly, moving and thinking about things that we can do to connect with the public.
Yeah.
Get kids and families involved, and get, minister to people.
Yeah.
She always says, meet the need and then minister to the people. So whatever they're lacking and whatever they need, you meet that need and then you minister to them spiritually.
Absolutely.
And she's talking about role models, man. That woman's awesome.
And that'll push you, as her husband to say, okay, let's
she
go.
does.
Like,
she absolutely pushes me. I try to play it cool.
Yeah.
But,
that sounds cool.
But she absolutely just amazes me. I'm just so thankful for her.
Yeah. I mean, we look at Jesus, and his life and what we're supposed to model after. Even outside of his ministry, Jesus was a visionary.
Yes.
What was he? He was a carpenter. In order to be a carpenter, you have to have an idea of what the finished product is going to look like, and then do the steps
before it starts
to be able to make that. Yes. You got a log. Well, it looks like a log, and then you have a vision of a chair, and it's like, I don't see how a chair is going to come out of that, but I know that it's what I want to make out of it. So you start, and then as the process goes along, you start seeing it. And then as you start seeing it, like you get, oh, okay, I see it. I see a leg and I see this. And you start getting pumped up about it. Yeah. And all those around you, they'll look at it and go, what? Like that used to be a log? Like really? Like they used to be nothing, just an idea of what it could be. And now look what it is. It's like watching Lee sometimes I'll just go in her room and just sit and watch her draw. And it's like, it's crazy that it was just a blank piece of paper. And now, like, you see it taking shape. Like right now she's doing, this might be another world premiere. Right now she's doing a Will Smith from I Am Legend, where he's laying in the bathtub with his dog. And like, as it started, it was just shapes. So like she'll take a picture as days go on, and it was just shapes. And it's like, you can't really tell what it is. And then as it goes on, you start seeing it take form and form and form. It's like, like, oh, I see it. I understand what it's going to be. And it's not even finished yet. You start seeing like, oh man, that dream. And now I'm seeing it. Okay. And it's just awesome to be around a dream and a dreamer and a visionary and somebody who dares to have this idea and say, no, this is what it's going to be. You don't see it right now. You don't understand, but I see it. I know what it's going to be, man. We talked a little bit before this about Noah, man. Imagine making that. I always say that some of the trees that Noah used to build the ark weren't even planted when he started.
Right.
So it's just like, imagine that, like looking around, just like, okay, so I'm supposed to build this for something that's never been done. I'm not a experienced carpenter. Like it's just like,
I don't even have enough lumber.
Right.
It'll grow.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It'll be there. Like, huh?
Yeah.
It'll be there. Like, no, you don't understand. I need the stuff to be able to make. No. Don't worry about it. You just start with the dream that I laid on you and what you're supposed to do, and I'll provide the rest. It's like amazing what God will do with that. With just that little bit of faith that, hey, you gave it to me, so you're gonna make it come.
Right. And most of the time the world looks at it as craziness. Like with Noah, they thought he was nuts.
Yeah.
And for us, that can be the same way. That's why it's important that we get around people that share our vision, that can see things developing or before they've developed even, but believe in our vision, believe in us. And then for the most part, believe in God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of all, just if God gave the vision that they can get on board with it,
no
matter what it sounds like. And some people think it's crazy, but that's what God does.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
He uses that foolish thing to confound the wise.
That's right. And I love having, I love seeing, Missy and you, like, where like you're kind of the more outgoing one, so you kind of push her to be more outgoing. But then like when it gets behind like preaching or something, she's the more outgoing one. And I love seeing her like push you to be more outgoing when it comes to that, man, because she believes in you and she knows, the plan that God has on your life. So it's cool seeing couples or friends or, people that are connected, like push each other and support each other and be like, hey, no, you got it. Like, I know God's got something for you.
Right.
So, man, it's awesome, man. But we really do. We got to get up and take that dream and make it a reality. God will place it there, but it's up to us to take it, grab it, take a hold of it and say, you know what, God, I stand on this. I'm gonna do my part. You've done your part. You've already set the path. I just got to walk it.
Yeah.
As Morpheus would say. There's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path.
Oh my goodness. It's good. That was actually really good.
New one's coming out. I'm so excited, man.
Yes.
Have you seen that? That new Matrix coming out? Yeah. Man, me and Richard had a discussion. This is way off topic. We're going in a different direction, but me and Richard had a discussion. Like, that movie's got a lot of biblical references. You know, talking about the Trinity and talking about Nebuchadnezzar and talking about the town called Zion and like just all these things and the chosen one coming to save everybody. Like, it's crazy how much spiritual innuendo those movies have. Those are good, man.
Yes, sir.
Good ones. But yeah, well, what else you got on your heart, man?
Man, I don't know.
That was fun. Dude, I'm telling you, last night when you told me that, like, yo, let's go.
Speaking of last night, you kind of brought that heat yourself. That was so good, man. I like that. I like the way you brought out the whole the destination doesn't change.
Yeah.
The vehicle may, but the destination is still the same. That really hit home with me. That was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Man, that one, man, it was just on my heart for so long, and I'm just like, it's all I could think about, man, you know, because I think people, they get so discouraged, and it's so easy to, when you see just like these people that have it together, that, oh man, why are they're just running and everything's working out for them, and we get discouraged, and you see people just give up because of a little discouragement, man, and it just breaks your heart, because you know that God's got a plan for their life, and you see it on them. You see them when they're going, man. It's amazing. They get discouraged by one thing and just give up.
Right.
It's like, no, you got to keep going, man. Just because there's a storm right now, that destination is waiting on you.
Right. And even the part you said about changing your perception there at the end when your big old foot wouldn't fit on the scooter.
Yeah. Man, it really wouldn't.
It really wouldn't, especially with those shoes on.
Oh, you like that? The only pair of boots. Well, I think I got another pair, but yeah, they're my dress boots. I try to look a little dressy.
Yeah, they wouldn't fit on that little scooter, but I like how you pointed out that you turn your foot sideways and change the way you're looking at it and change your perspective. That was good, because a lot of times, things are there. The tools are there for us, and God has provided the vehicle or whatever, but we're just looking at it wrong.
Yeah.
He's already done everything on his part.
Yep.
We're just not looking at it right.
Yeah. You can't use a screwdriver to nail in a nail.
That's right.
That's not what that's meant for. Right. It's like you need the right tool for that. Right.
A drill.
This is not a drill. That's funny. You still remember when I brought that toolbox in?
Oh my goodness.
It looked like a real toolbox.
I can't forget that. That was like the first day I really hung out with you.
Like, probably looking at
building the fence.
This guy.
And yeah. You brought out a play school toolbox,
dude,
with the rubber, the plastic hammer, and
I didn't look inside of it. Though. I don't know. It was first one.
Is this the one? Did you get that out of the nursery?
Yes,
you did.
It should have clicked then. I understand, but
yeah.
It was
these contractors probably don't have their tools in the nursery.
Yeah, I know. It was the first one I seen. It was the first one that was like sitting there. I'm like, okay, it's toolbox.
Hey, but you did carry a lot of those boards.
That's right. That was the only contributing factor I had to that whole fence.
Pack a lot of lumber.
I'm like, hey, what do y'all need? What do you need a drink? I got your drinks. Don't ask me to I'm going to mess something up, but I will provide. Y'all want some lunch? I'll go grab you lunch. Like that go-getter.
That was such a fun day.
Yeah, it was, man.
Really was.
And it was cool seeing, again, back to those dreams, man. Just the idea of it's nothing but a yard. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh, we're putting a fence here. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Don't know what it's going to look like. And to see you build that, man, from nothing. It's like, and you see it happening. It's like, I see it now. Like
he really didn't even have any plans or nothing.
Yeah.
It was just, he kind of stepped it off out there. He's like, we kind of want a corner here and then somewhere down there. And let's just fence this back in. And I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah. And to see you like literally on like scrap pieces of paper out of your truck, just like, okay, what about this? And seeing, and that was the first day I really noticed. I liked how even though you knew what you were doing, you included everybody else into it and took their input into the thing that you saw in your head. Like you would come and, oh, well, what do you think of this? Like my opinion is just a good opinion, but you knew that it would spark in me seeing the vision that you saw. So I love when a leader does that. They have the vision, they know how it's going to get done, but they will get input from someone else to spark in them that same dream.
Right. And that is something that I actually had to learn, because there was a time whenever I didn't want input, and I wanted everything to be this is my baby. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I don't need no help with it. But that's something I had to learn, where when you have vision, you have to be able to release that vision to other people.
Yeah.
And not be like prideful in that and saying, no, this is mine.
Yeah.
You have to include other people, and you have to have people come along, and you have to even release that and let somebody have control of it sometimes.
Yeah.
And then turn it, they run it and they do it, even though all along that was your idea.
Yeah.
And so that is just a thing that kind of comes with maturity.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to have a lot of vision and you're going to have a lot of things going on, you can't run it all.
Yeah.
You're only one person.
That's
you can only
good.
do so much. So you have to be able to release those things to other people and trust that they're going to do it, the way that you intended for it to be done.
Man, I've heard this before, like verbatim. Oh, well, if I'm not here, the church won't run right. I think that's a dangerous thing to say.
No, we're trying. What we're trying to do here is put enough people in the place
Right.
that somebody can be missing, and then things just keep
Yes.
firing off as if nothing.
If you are taking out of it and things don't run, you're not putting the right people around you.
That's right.
To do it.
Yep.
This is God's vision. It's not a man's vision. It's not anybody else's baby. This is God's vision. He will run it with or without you. I promise you. Ask Saul in the Bible, was anointed to be king. Guess what happened? God lifted his, he's going a different direction. So now it's somebody else's turn, So it's like we've got to be willing to say, God, you are in control. It has nothing to do with me or who I am. You may have given me the vision or the dream, but you've got to do it. Yeah. I'm supposed to do my part. Your part is to oversee it. Yeah. My part is to fulfill it. Yeah. So I think that is important, man. Putting that team around you and including people, just like you did that day, man. You included me, even though I couldn't tell you. I can tell you what a hammer and a screwdriver is. Other than that, I'm out of it. But you made me feel included. Therefore, when the finished product and the dream comes to fruition, I felt a part of it. I felt like, man, I did. At least I helped in that. And you feel a sense of, that we did this together. It wasn't just Jeremiah and then all the rest of us.
Yeah.
So, man, I think that's so good. That's good stuff, man.
Good stuff.
You got anything else?
I think I'm good.
Man,
tapped out.
We'll get the ladies back on here. The last episode with them, it didn't run very well. So
did we ever get it posted?
No.
So we got to redo it.
Yeah. That card broke. It had a crack in it.
Yeah.
And like overheated.
I don't know why I thought we redid it already. We didn't redo it.
No, not yet. No, but we'll do that definitely. And we're gonna have a special guest on here pretty soon.
So we're gonna be in trouble.
Yes, we are.
We're gonna get her and her husband on.
That's right.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. This has been the Almost Brothers podcast with Michael and Jeremiah. Remember, if you don't have a home church, come check us out at the Lighthouse in Dexter, 8:30 outside in the parking lot, 10 o'clock inside. We love y'all.